This has been Cairo Q. Peace out.
Hey guys, it's Haru again.
Hi, Haru.
I don't know why you guys keep doing that. This isn't an AA meeting.
Wait, it's not?
Anyway, it's been a year since our friend Q disappeared. It's been a hard time for a lot of us. And also, he owes me money. Too bad his wallet turned to dust too. Am I right? Avengers Endgame just came out, and as much as he'd love to be here today watching it with us, we're going to have to review it without him. It's what he would have wanted.
Or maybe we don't have to review it without him.
What do you mean?
What if we save Q before he dies? All we have to do is go back in time to the point right before he turns to dust, grab him the heck out of there, and bring him here. Then we can review the movie.
How are we going to do that?
Introducing the Time Dumpster. I was dumpster diving one day and I found this flux capacitor that some old dude threw away. And now we can travel to any point in space and time.
You invented time travel in one day. Did you have to make it a dumpster? It smells like gym socks and dead weasel.
Ah yes, that was my friend Trash Weasel, the last person who used the time dumpster. He's dead now.
Haru? Trash Koala? What are you guys doing here?
We're here to save you and bring you to the future. Do you trust me?
No, not really.
You could watch the next Avengers movie right now if you come with us.
Huh. Sold.
Can I kill myself?
So we're back from seeing Avengers Endgame, the culmination of 10 years worth of Marvel Studios storytelling and characters. And we're here to discuss if it was worth the hype. I'm Kyber Q.
I'm Haru.
And I'm Trash Koala.
So, mild spoilers ahead. Nothing big that will ruin the movie though. We learn about the dramatic aftermath of Thanos' snap that wiped out 50% of life in the universe.
Without spoiling too much, the first act of the movie almost plays out like a drama, with what's left of the Avengers mourning the losses of their fallen comrades.
Yeah, the first half hour is pretty much just everyone crying and going, "Oh, my friends are gone. Oh no, I'm so sad." Just get over it, man. Jeez.
The first third of the film was all very dark and gloomy, not very colourful, and just depressing.
After the time travel plot begins, it was a little more upbeat.
Okay, so there's time travel and they essentially say it doesn't work the way any other movie describes it. So they could really do anything and it doesn't actually affect their past. It is then later explained that if you take something out of the past and don't return it, it will affect your past. But then it doesn't. At the end of the movie.
And it's a big problem with this film.
Yeah, the time travel element of this time travel movie was a little clumsily written. It's by far the weakest part in the story, and it's gonna make or break it for a lot of people.
Yeah, it doesn't help that they establish rules at the start that they don't even end up following at the end.
Despite that, it is extremely fun revisiting the earlier movies, and makes Endgame feel like not only an end, but a celebration of this era of the franchise.
I mean, yes, you will have to probably watch most of the other ones before this one. So yeah, it's essentially they go back to previous films to the point where it almost feels like they're just remaking whole scenes.
Which I thought was kind of nice. It had a good payoff. For me, the most intriguing aspects of this entire MCU series has been Tony Stark's fear of being a father figure to others. It's also made clear through several years of films that he didn't have the best relationship with his father. It's a relationship that gets explored thoroughly in this film. Tony Stark sees himself as a father figure to Peter Parker. He feels responsible for what happens to him. We see him again interact with another child, I suppose, in this film, and it sort of becomes the resolution arc to how he sees himself as a father figure and being the man he wants to be while trying to avoid being the person he saw his father to be.
Yeah, we've been with Iron Man from the very beginning and seen him develop throughout so many movies. And seeing that all wrap up in Endgame was quite fitting.
I would say that Endgame does a pretty firm job of wrapping up most of the stories from the MCU. Those that haven't been wrapped up, I think, have intentionally been left for future films. There's plenty of room for this series to continue, but for the important core cast members, they pretty much had all their stories concluded in a meaningful way.
It's not necessarily an end to all the characters.
No.
As well. We'll probably see some in the future.
There wasn't anything in here that was a shock plot twist, I think. The deaths, I wouldn't say the deaths were expected. Don't get me wrong, the lack of plot twists wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
This is a movie all about resolution, I thought. It did a brilliant job of that. Certain character arcs I wasn't a huge fan of. Other side characters get huge amounts of screen time, I would say. Namely, characters like Nebula, who becomes more of a main cast member than I'd say most of the main cast.
One thing I praised about Infinity War was the way they handled the humor. And this is the case for most of the Russo brothers Marvel movies. There isn't that one-liner kind of comedy that they do in most MCU films. It was quite well done. But in Endgame, there were a lot of really goofy, cringeworthy moments that that could have been cut out. They make a fair share of ass jokes. And that really makes the movie feel less like a Russo brothers movie and more like a Farrelly brothers movie. Am I right, fellas?
I didn't mind. It sort of broke up the depression, so...
Yeah, this movie shouldn't have been funny. Those humorous bits are in scenes where it's okay for the humor to sort of like be there. With previous movies, they will say a one-liner or something while they're in like a death battle or whatever. Proxima Midnight dies in Infinity War. Like when he goes, oh, that's gross.
That's really gross.
Just for a cheap laugh, and like, you're about to die.
Oh, gross.
In Infinity War, Thor says to Captain America, I see you copied my beard.
Notice you've copied my beard?
Captain America hasn't seen Thor with a beard.
He's always had a beard.
He didn't have one in the Avengers.
He did.
No, he didn't.
He's always had a beard since the first Thor movie.
No. He doesn't have a beard in Thor 1. Yes, he does.
Oh my god.
Can I kill myself?
Get it together.
So it's clear we've had our issues with Endgame, but man, the climax makes up for it.
I think the battle was done quite well. The shots where they had of like people fighting together or like the lone characters, they gave each one screen time.
Whatever it takes.
At the end of the day, I did think that Endgame had a lot more flaws compared to Infinity War. The time travel elements make up a good portion of the movie and create so many plot holes that it's just hard to ignore. All that aside though, the stuff that works very, very well. And it's hard to be disappointed if you've been following these movies from the start. It has a ton of fan service and a final battle scene that makes it more than Hemsworth the price of admission. I give this movie a crying Terrence Howard.
Regardless of all the issues and stuff in the film, I don't think at any point I was bored. Give it a dubbing Hulk.
To have a payoff as large a scale as this one in Endgame made sense. It was not just the culmination and resolution of two massive films, but of over 10 years of cinema. It feels like the Russo brothers genuinely cared about this series, and therefore I'm going to give this film an Infinity 4 out of 5.
I saw you getting emotional during this movie, man.
Who, me?
Yeah, you were crying your eyes out. You little baby crying over fake superheroes.
You cried at the end of The Force Awakens.
Yeah, wait, you did cry in Force Awakens.
I didn't.